Hello and welcome to the Bucket Lister podcast. Join your host Keith Crockford along with special guests who have travelled the world, here to share stories of their adventures and plenty of inspo to add to your bucket list. Now, let's get into today's episode.
Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of the Bucket Lister podcast. Today I am recording this podcast in Tanzania because I'm about to climb Kilimanjaro tomorrow, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to introduce all our listeners to my very good friend Julius John White, or as people know him, Whitey. Hello Whitey.
Hey Jambo, how are
Jambo.
you, my bro?
So I've known Whitey now for like 10 years and I've climbed Kilimanjaro with him 10 times, and we're going for our 11th with our group tomorrow. And I just thought it would be a great episode to have a chat with Whitey so you guys can get an idea of what Kilimanjaro is all about. So, Whitey, we've been friends for a long time.
Exactly. A nice friend.
Nice friends.
Not just friend, yeah.
So
I like that.
So Jake and I had a conversation earlier and we decided we were running a bet on how many times you would say, "So nice," on this episode. So we're going to work out how many times you actually use your very famous phrase while we go. So my first question to you, Whitey, and I'm not really sure of the answer to this, but how many times have you climbed Kilimanjaro now?
Yeah, definitely you have said you're not really sure. Even me, I'll say the same way because I stopped putting the records after getting up to hundreds, like 100, 200, 300, and it's like, it's like getting back home. So you don't need to count how many times you go back to your home. So I'll say around there, maybe 200, 300 or more than that.
So it makes my 13th climb, hopefully tomorrow, look a little bit insignificant to yours. I mean, we've had some great times on the mountain now. Like we have a party on the mountain when we climb, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. Amazing moment.
I mean, you like to sing.
Definitely. Singing is my other life. So I may not have a good voice, but I'm loving it so much, man.
I don't think there's anything wrong with your voice. So how long have you been a guide for now?
It's definitely over 15 years.
Because I remember a while ago I asked you the question of how old you were. And you don't even know how old you are, do you?
Yeah, exactly. I normally don't have a straight answer of how old I am.
So how old are you roughly?
Roughly, I would say I'm between 30, maybe around 35, 6 or 7 or 8. Yeah, around there.
Something around there.
Oh, a little bit more or a little bit less, yeah.
I think for people listening to this in the UK, I think they would quite like that, not to know how old they were as well and just make up how old they are.
Which is nice. That would be a good idea.
So before you became a guide on Kilimanjaro then, were you a porter beforehand?
Yeah, exactly. I was a porter for less than a year, of which for my way it was a little bit unique because some people, they can be a porter for some years before to be the guide in my days. But for me, it was like happening really soon. Like I was in a porter for less than a year, then I was like promoted to be an assistant guide with the company, but all the logistics done, and then promoted by doing the training to become a full guide, of which I was really afraid of it. But it was a pressure from the people that could see what is in me. They were pushing me into it. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. It's a lot of responsibility. They say, no, you're not a baby anymore. This is why you're working into the industry. So you have to be a guide. Like somebody has to push me.
Yeah, I think, I remember my first ever trip with you, and I'd done a couple of Kilimanjaro treks before I worked with you, and you turned up as our guide, and it was just like a breath of fresh air on the mountain. You looked after the group, you entertained the group, you were, I can see why they pushed you into becoming a guide. I think.
Thank you very much.
From your perspective, I think having done the having done Kilimanjaro so many times now, you are the best guide on the mountain. I know, I invited you over to the UK a couple of years ago.
Definitely. Yes,
I had you came over to the Adventure Travel Show.
Definitely.
In London.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, it was amazing to have you with us. And, you were there with us at the stand, and the amount of people that came to the stand that had never known my company, but they had done the trek with you because you literally climbed Kilimanjaro back. They were like, "Oh my God, Whitey's in London."
Exactly. Yeah, that was very emotional to see them, and I can remember them all. Like as they came, you can remember what happened on Stella Point or Gilman. So some came. So
yeah, and I think, and that's what I love about having you on our treks is you do remember all the clients. You remember everybody on a trek.
I think people, they are very important. People, they are very unique, and they have a special moment in life days. So that's a high value to everyone, and each one of them.
Because some people, they don't ever stop being a porter, do they?
Yeah,
they're a porter their whole life. They're a porter for 5, 6, 7 years before they become a guide. And you were a porter for less than a year before they said to you, become a guide.
Yes, exactly. There's people who were a porter in my days, up to now, they're still porter. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be a porter, but that's their career. I think they feel like this is fine. Sometimes you even give them a chance to go to the summit or a chance to do something more. They're like, no, I'm okay here. I'm good as a porter. Yeah, I'm a good porter,
Yeah, and your understanding of the English language, you speak very good English, and that's really important to be a guide, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So what is the process then, Whitey, to becoming a guide in Tanzania, just so that people can understand what you have to go through to actually be a guide?
Yeah, mainly, as you say, the key things, you have to understand English. There's no way out. So to understand how to speak and also how to write the English language, but also to have the experience from the roots. You need to know the roots, but also you need to have the college, like wildlife college. It could be any college before. You can go to any college just to have that qualification. So to know at least about animals and the plant, which is flora and fauna, like majority, like how are they lifestyle and all of this, the survival skills into the wilderness, all these first aid skills. After having that from the college, then you will be tested by the national park. You will go for the training. That was my days. So you have to go for the training, which will go for maybe a week. You go to the practical into the wilderness, so they check you how good you are of what you're doing from the question, how you share with your friends. But also you go to a theory examination. So the pass mark are the one which they'll show that if you're going to be a guide or you're going to be an assistant guide. But also there is more improvement into the Mweka Wildlife College, of which you go there as well to be trained with those professionals. Then after that, they give you the same test as well. So from there, then you will be described whether you're going to be a guide or an assistant guide according to your ability. So clearly from there, then you're a guide. But you're not good enough until you physically then have a good experience on client. Not only in the papers. There are some people that just end up being very good in the papers. But when you present the client to them, when you present Kilimanjaro to them, of which they are guide for, then it's become a little bit more challenging. So it's good just to have experience as well, like you know how to apply that knowledge you have. Yeah, that's crazy,
And you were given a very important role in terms of the national park, weren't you?
Yeah, exactly. This is something to do with leader, one of the top leader of the guides here in Tanzania. So one of the very top 4 leaders in the Kilimanjaro Guide Association. This was elected and selected by the members and then choose to be one of the top. And then, so from there, we just lead as example. So we also collaborate with the national park, whether Kilimanjaro National Park or Tanzania National Park in general. So in that missions or in that kind of job, then we got to meet ministers and sometimes park wardens on all of these top peoples in the national parks, Kilimanjaro National Park or Tanzania National Park, of which also some days we just meet also with Minister of Tourism, sometimes get invited by the president, like recently when our lovely Honorable President Samia Suluhu Hassan, who has been doing a royal tour film. We were among the people who are like very few people, first ones to see that film here in Tanzania. That was a really big honor as guides. We highly respect that. Like there's like so many big like member of parliament, but there's also collaboration of people from America, like Peter Berg, who was the one who acted with our amazing president, but also some few people came with her as well, but people came with Peter Berg internationally. But we were among the few who sat with the president in the same hall, and among the few who was like being invited to have dinner with her. It's not like she invited us for dinner and left. No, we sat with her and like security around. It was really crazy.
And if you look back on that from when you were a reporter from Moshi, did you think that you would ever be sat round for dinner with the president of Tanzania?
Oh my God. Not just sitting as a porter, as a guide or somebody, because those tags were saying like special officials, like very special tags we have on. You're feeling so proud and surrounded with this big security of the government, big guns around with big people, but you feel safe. It's like no fear within them. So that was a very good feelings. And I couldn't think I could even be a guide. Not just to be the best guide, because I even been given a worldwide award as the best leader in the world. That's 2012. But I've never even think I could even be a guide or being assistant guide. No, I was just thinking, maybe I could just be a porter or something. So sometimes it takes somebody to just help to know your career, to know your way. Like, this is your way.
I mean, tourism is so big in Tanzania, isn't it?
Definitely.
You've got, if you look at tourism in Tanzania, you've got, really two options. I mean, you've either got the trekking of Kilimanjaro or you've got the safaris. That is what Tanzania is all about.
Yeah, definitely. You got Kilimanjaro, you got safari, but another thing that you forget, you got also beach holiday in Zanzibar, which is so big.
So nice.
It's like so nice. The island of beauties. Whoever goes there is like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah, and people don't really think about Zanzibar as a beach holiday resort, do they? But we always recommend. We do it as an add-on to our Kilimanjaro trips. We do it as an add-on to our safari trips. Just go and experience Zanzibar at the end of your trip. I mean, it's a long way to come to Tanzania for a beach holiday, but whilst you're already here, why would you not go and visit Zanzibar? It is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the very big bucket lists after doing that. So it's good if you do it in a nice way. Like in a nice way, mainly, is like coming to Kilimanjaro, go to safari, then Zanzibar. If you do the other way around, you may not enjoy as much. Like starting from Zanzibar, then safari, then Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
Kilimanjaro, I will say, is the hardest.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's the greatest, but physically, for that 3 destination is the hardest. So start with the hardest, then little easy, like safari, you're just sitting in the car. And then Zanzibar, you're just sitting by the beach.
Chilling out by the pool, by the beach.
Yeah, healing out. So that's a nice way to do it.
And you also do safaris as well. You can go in. You can go and lead safaris.
Yes, I've led many safaris.
I mean, I think it is a waste of your talent for you to go and lead a safari. I mean, you are at home on the mountain.
Yeah.
That is where you should. That is where you belong. And you are doing a lot more of the mountain bike tours.
Exactly.
In Kilimanjaro now as well. But you are your job should be on the mountain. Like that's where you belong.
That's really right. And I feel there. When I'm there, I'm like, yes, I'm home.
Yeah. I get that when I'm with you all the time on the mountain. I mean, it is your home, and you have such a lovely time on it, and all the guests love you, and you work with a lot of other groups as well.
Yeah,
not just bucket list groups, but you do work with other companies as well. And it was just so amazing for me to be at the Adventure Travel Show and have you there. And then everybody just coming, oh my God, Whitey's in London.
Amazing.
In terms of Kilimanjaro then, obviously there are multiple routes on Kilimanjaro. Do you just want to talk through to our listeners so that you just describe the different routes and what the plus points are of the different routes?
Exactly. I will do it in very easy and very short way. We mainly have 6 routes, of which I would say we are going in Marangu route tomorrow, which is amazing feeling, man. So we're going in Marangu route. That's one of the routes. Marangu route is Coca-Cola route. They say Coca-Cola route as it is easy compared to others, but easy in a way from one camp to another. But going to the summit is the same thing, whether you're in Marangu or you're in Machame route. So from one camp to another, Marangu say the easiest. But the second easiest is Rongai route. Rongai route.
And that comes from the north almost, on the Kenyan border, really.
Yeah, that's almost to Kenya. So the Rongai route, as to beginning with that trail coming from north, the first 3-4 camps are different, but the last camp, base camp, is the same as Marangu. So you're starting from, let's say Marangu, you're starting from a Marangu gate, then Mandara, then Horombo. You might have an extra day there if you have 6 days, then go to Kibo for the summit. But in Rongai route, you're starting with Simba camp. Then depend of how many days you have. Some do 6, some 7, some even 8. So day 1 for Rongai route, you're starting to Simba camp, which all of you will be at Simba camp. There's a second camp will be Second Cave, of which some people they skip that, go to Kikelelwa, day 3. And day 4 go to Mawenzi Tan Hut. Day 5 going to Kibo Hut, then Summit. Or from Second Cave, some took another more north route, which is going to, from Second Cave, going to Third Cave. Then from Third Cave, they're going either to School Hut or Kibo Hut as base camp. So those are the 2 routes of that side. In the other side of west, we have Lemosho route, of which also bucket list we do those. I've done that with Commander Gareth. Yeah, several times. So that is the longer route of Kilimanjaro. So in terms of the hardest, you have to start the hardest as Umbwe route. Umbwe route is considered the hardest as
and that's on the south of the mountain.
Yes,
isn't it?
yes, south of the mountain. And this is the steepest. The harder come from the steepest. So day 1, you're at Umbwe Cave. Day 2, you're at Barranco.
Which is what the Machame.
Yeah. For Machame, that day 3.
Yeah.
But for Umbwe, is day 2. For Lemosho route, is day 4. So that's the difference. Like, it's quicker and steeper.
But I've got a friend of mine that did the Umway route because he wanted to try and break the British speed record. So he ran up the Umway route, and that's the one that people use, isn't it, to try and...
Yeah, exactly. They use that because it's the shortest. So it's only issue about covering the distance. So Umbo is the shortest and the hardest. So Umbo route, if it's going to break the record sometime, they go via Western Bridge. Because after Barranco, you go back to Lava Tower, Arrow Glacier, then go within Arrow Glacier to Crater Camp Summit, then go back through the normal Mweka route. Because you cannot easily go back Western Bridge. They could go back Western Bridge, it's much shorter, but it's more dangerous. After going up Western Bridge, it's difficult to go back down. You just have to go up. So we have described 2. So another 1, 3 is Machame route, which is Machame Hut. Then
and what do people call the Machame route?
Whiskey route.
Whiskey route.
Yeah, whiskey route. Because it is really whiskey route, like challenge. So the second hardest from Umbwe route, the one we have been talking.
So we've got the Machame route as well. So the Machame route starts at
1,800, the gate. And then from there, you go to Camp 1, which is Machame Hut, 3,000. From there, you're going to Shira Cave. And from Shira Cave, you're going to Barranco Camp. After Barranco Camp, it could be 6 days, you're going all the way to Barafu. If it's 7 days, you're going to Karanga Camp. And after Karanga Camp, Barafu, then Barafu, you summit, you go back via Mweka route. Mweka route, you're staying at either Millennium Camp or Mweka Camp. And then after that, you're going down to the gate in the other side, like Mweka route, not back to the same as Marangu.
Not the same way.
Yeah, not the same.
Yeah, because the Marangu route that we're doing is the only route on the mountain where you go up and back the same way, isn't it?
Yes. You go back up and down the same way. Because also it's the only route with huts.
Yes.
You're sleeping in the house, like with a proper mattress and all of this.
And toilet blocks. And
Yeah, exactly. Like flush toilets and all of this.
Proper British toilets.
Yeah, it's kind of a posh route. So that's the way it is. But all other routes are camping routes. So the other one is Lemosho route, the one you say the Comet Relief did. Lemosho route starting from the west of Kilimanjaro, going to Lemosho Gate. Now they have renovated that gate, so you start there. You don't need to go to other gate, Ngongongare. So sorry, not Ngongongare. Ngongongare is in Mount Meru, but that is Londoros Gate. You don't need to go there. So you go to Lemosho Gate. From Lemosho Gate, you're going to Big Tree Camp, Camp 1 from the gate. And then from there, you go to Shira Camp 1, day 2. Day 3, you're going to Shira Camp 2. Day 4, you're going to Barranco. The same way as Machame route then to finish. So Barranco, Karanga, Barafu, Summit, back to Millennium or Mweka, then down to the gate. The same thing as the Londoros route. That also, it's called Shira route. You go within this Shira Plateau. You're starting from starting point of them. Then Camp 1 is...
And that route is higher, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just the really starting point is high for that one.
Very higher. But also you don't see forest. Yeah. At all. So this why it's so high. You're starting from on the nation called Mooland. So you miss the old forest. but it's high as you said. So from there, you're going to camp, Shira Camp 1, day 1. Day 2, Shira Camp 2. Day 3, Barranco, Karanga, Barafu, Summit. Then you're going back the same way.
Yeah, I think Lemosho's almost taken over now, isn't it, from the Shira route? In terms of if you want to come from the west side of the mountain, then the Lemosho route is the most popular one now.
Yeah, exactly. But also the most popular people did Lemosho. Let's say, apart from the very early ones like Hans Meyer who did the other routes, but you got Comet Lerive and other popular people.
And in terms of all the routes then, which is your favourite route to do on the mountain?
Wow, that's becoming a harder question because all the routes are unique and all the routes has many different according to how the rock surface, the nature differ from one route to another. So to say clearly for the best one, I would say all the routes are unique and all the routes has a good demand, a good flexibility to the client. So there are some people need a little bit challenge. Some people, they don't want that Barranco wall. They say, no, just find any way that I don't go through Barranco wall. But for the other route, just walking without the wall, they will do great. So it's different according to how it is. But if I have to say, I would say maybe Machame route. Machame route. But all the routes are unique. All the routes are very, very nice.
So nice.
Exactly.
I think from my perspective, I think the Machame route can get quite busy with people.
Exactly busy. Yeah, exactly.
The thing I like
about... It's the busiest.
It's the busiest, yeah. And the thing I like about the Marangu route is because it's the hut route, there are only so many bed spaces in the huts, so it can never get overpopulated.
Exactly. Marangu route can get highly limited. Like once we have done the booking from the national park, like we need our clients, when they see the booking, they're overriding it. It's like, no, you don't have booking. Wait until next day or next time or next season.
Yeah.
So that's the way it is. But all other routes, you can expand the tent and the campings.
Just have more and more people.
Possible, as much as possible. And I don't think if we do have limit about how many people can...
No. And I think in terms of, for a lot of our clients, this might be the first time they've experienced something like this. They're not used to sleeping in a tent on a mountain.
Yeah.
So actually having the huts and things like that just makes such a difference.
Exactly.
To customers.
It's a very big relief. Like being able to stand still, like in your room.
Get changed standing up.
Yeah. That's a big thing as well, because sometimes if you're in that small tent, you're bending a lot. And that's the way it is. But it's also fun. It's also okay, adventure way. But huts are very important.
I think so. And I think in terms of, if you're climbing and it rains, you've got somewhere to dry your kit out.
Exactly.
You've got place to spread around. Yeah. Like I say, we do the Lemosho route. It's the longer route. It gives a good acclimatization profile, but they do have to go through the Barranco wall. Yeah. And then we do the Marangu route with the hut route. 6 days, we add the extra day in, which is super important, I think.
Yeah. You don't need to go through Barranco Wall.
You don't have to go through Barranco Wall.
Yeah. Any highly technical corners areas, you don't have as much in Marangu. So it's just nice and smooth.
Up, down.
Yeah.
So what would be your top 3 tips then to get to the summit of Kilimanjaro?
Okay. Top 3 tips.
You can have 4 if you want.
I like that. I was thinking it's like examination in the college or something, only 3. But I would like to ask for additional 4. And because you're my nice friend, My brother from another mother, Commander Keith, I say 4 tips for me. Climbing not just Kilimanjaro, but any mountain in the world, you need to do 4 things to be safe. You need to do 4 things to be in a good condition. Whether you're taking these high mountain pills or you're not taking them, but this, it will really help you. So first of all, make sure you eat enough food. It's very common, like common things that anyone can do. Eat enough whenever you have appetite. Do not think about diet or I don't want to get big, I don't want to eat much of this because I don't want to be bigger than this. No, because your body will be burning a lot of calories. So empower your body with so much, enough, not too much, but enough food for yourself. Because there is a days as you go higher, you may lose appetite. You may not be able to eat. So if you're not be able to eat, if you have been eating enough, your body will be strong enough to keep on to finish.
Yeah, because that is one thing with altitude in it, is one of the effects can be lack of appetite.
Yeah, lack of appetite, of which mainly is coming in late day 2, but mainly day 3, day 4, and the summit day. So if you have eat well until day 3, day 4, your appetite is coming low, then you're able to balance with it to finish to the summit and come back to your appetite again. Because once you're finished to the top, coming back down, your body is acclimatized. You will be able to eat again. So that's number 1. Number 2 is drinking water. Your body is highly in need of water when you're on high altitude. Because what the body does is, as you lose water from sweating or pee or talking, evaporation from your mouth, it's not coming as much from mouth, but mainly sweating. Your blood is getting thicker. So it's need enough water to help rebuild more blood cells, because water has oxygen, but also water is a fluid that's very important into the body. So when the body is lack of water, when you see you're on the mountain and feeling thirsty, that means you're late. You're not drinking water on the mountain because you're thirsty. You're drinking because your body needs it. So even if you're not thirsty, you need to drink water. You don't wait until it is too sunny so you feel like sweating a lot, then I need to drink water. No. It's cold there. Sometimes you even don't feel the sun because of the heat. It's very not as hot. So water is very important to drink at least minimum 3 liters a day. 3 liters of clear water. And this is from morning to evening, not just at once.
Not 3 liters. Trekking.
Yeah. When you're talking about at once, it's still 3 liters, but they may not be useful. Because if you drink at once, 1 liter, and then after 1 hour, another liter, that is not as good. You have to sips. You have the whole day to finish those 3 liters or more, maybe 4 liters. Plus all the liquids we are giving you, like tea, juice, porridge, all the liquids to make sure we boost up all almost to become 4.5 to 5 liters.
Cucumber soup.
Yeah. Amazing soups. I forget that. Which are so nice.
You can have that one to yourself, Whitey. You know my opinion on cucumber soup, but
yeah. Yeah, so that's number 2. Make sure you drink enough water for your body to be hydrated. Very highly recommended to be hydrated, which can help the body to regulate itself nicely. Number 3 is to go slowly.
Pole.
Slowly, which we say pole in Tanzania, which means slowly. No hurry in Africa. Hakuna matata. Okay? So you need to go slowly because your body needs to acclimatize. As you go slowly, you give chance to your body to acclimatize more, but also you are not stressing your body. You're giving it a chance to expand, to adjust nicely the way you go. But also, there is no need of rushing because it's not a competition. The much better from your acclimatization you are, the much better your successful rate to the summit. So you may try to rush from the lower camps and then not be able to get to the summit. So give yourself enough chance by going slowly. How do you know that you're not going slowly? If you find yourself panting, like, not almost like a dog, but not a dog, like, you cannot talk like, oh, brother, guess, you know how it is, yeah. You're short breath. That means you're going faster. You need to adjust the pace until you can be able to talk normal and not running out of breathing. That is your limit. That is your balance. Anywhere in the world, if you're talking and being short of breath, that means you're going faster. Adjust, reduce your pace, slow motion, but still keep moving long distances. That is how you can attack bigger mountains anywhere in the world. Last but not least is very easy one.
Easy for Tanzania. Yeah, I know what's coming now.
Yeah, you know.
I know what's coming.
Yeah, definitely. Resting. So you just need to rest whenever you're giving time to rest. But sometimes you give people time to rest. Some they're resting, but some they're still wandering around, running, or trying to go to things quickly. No. If you still want to observe the area, just take your time to walk to it. Don't run to it. And then if you're able, just take off your day pack. Let your muscles rest from your shoulders, because that can cause you headache, because they are pressing this back necks from the stripes, and you're not used to it. That can give you headache. But for us, we are used to it. This is why you see sometimes we're just fine. We could rush a little bit because we're doing this so many times. Like maybe after 3 times a month or even more. Or maybe at least once a month. So we are doing this very frequently. This is why we are able sometimes to sing. Even sometimes people cannot even be able to talk. But we can sing because we are highly acclimatized and our body has highly red blood cells that carries oxygens. So that's my 4 very important things.
That's your 4 very important things to get you to the top of Kilimanjaro and any mountain that you might want to climb as well. Why do you think people should put Kilimanjaro on their bucket lists?
Wow, that's a very, very, very good question. I will simply say Kilimanjaro is very important into your bucket list, because Kilimanjaro, it's a life-changing. Not just the mountain, but somehow in many ways it's life-changing, because it has started to change my life. I was really caring, I was really like this, but it changed me more, like in my career. And I can see I can be more determined, I can hit my goals more, I can feel more courageous. So Kilimanjaro itself is the highest freestanding mountain in the world. So if you simply want a world record, if you don't have one, just do Kilimanjaro. So you'll be like, I have a world record. What is it? I did Kilimanjaro. The highest freestanding mountain in the world is simple as that. I know Mount Everest is the highest in the world, but there is so much logistic compared to Kilimanjaro. I'll say Kilimanjaro is touristic mountain. This is why it has 6 routes plus 7 Mweka routes to descend, which offer a good climb for different variety of type of clients. The one who need the hardcore, they can go Umba route. The one who need the easy, they can go Marangu route. The one who need the middle, they can go either Lemosho route, Londros route. But also the days are very less compared to many other mountains. I have done one of the highest mountain in the Western Hemisphere, South America. This is Aconcagua, almost 7,000. We did that for 17 days. Is it 17, 15 days? Yeah, we did that for 17, 15 days. While in Kilimanjaro, the longest you can just go for 10 days. That's so long.
But 6 days, 7 days.
6 days, very enough, good acclimatized, 6 days. So you can see, so on Kilimanjaro, some people have very short holiday or short time due to their business. So if they want to do something quickly, you may not be to be highly prepared. That's Kilimanjaro. Yeah, we recommend you to do a little bit exercise, but you can come fresh from your home and do Kilimanjaro. Possible.
And Kilimanjaro, for tourists coming to Kilimanjaro as well, they have so much impact on the local economy and the local people, don't they?
So much big impact into the local economy. This is why you can hear us saying a lot, maximum respect. I know you have heard that so many times. Why we had that word maximum respect? Because we respect all the clients that coming to Tanzania. Because we know it's because of you that the company can be run down here, this big tour company. They are there because of you. But also, they can contribute into the government GDP. But also, they can contribute to companies to be able to give the salaries of many teenagers, many young guys, of which majority is like, most of the company is like 1 to 3, or one client to 2.5 local people. So that means if you're with...
so we've got 15 on our trip going out tomorrow.
Yeah, if you're with 15 clients, times 3, that is 45. Is it?
Yeah, that we're providing employment for 45 people by 15 people coming
plus
out.
Maybe the guides who are not carrying. Maybe it will be like 4 guides into 10, then another 3, so 7 guides. This is roughly, I'll double check this number tomorrow. But that's roughly almost about 50.
And all of the food that they'll be preparing has been bought from local people.
Yeah, exactly. All the food are coming from the local people. As we have been walking the local market today, you can see how much they're like, oh, welcome. Can you buy this tomato? Can you buy this? But also these all crops have been planted mostly on the slope of Kilimanjaro, of which there is a very good weather, but sometimes they don't need rain because they can water the plant from the Kilimanjaro streams that have flowing water from there. But also the moisture from morning, all the potatoes on the west of Kilimanjaro, they can grow without rain. So it's very, very respected mountain, but very respected icon in tourism in Tanzania, in Kilimanjaro. So we are so pleased when we see clients or tourists booking this. It's like doing something not only for yourself, but for your planning your trip. You're saving so many people who need that help, because all the porters have families. If not as their own family, they have their mothers or their relatives that they live with in African way, of which that way it will help them contribute their way and help their life.
Perfect. Okay, so before we bring this interview to an end, obviously your recommendation is for everyone to come out and climb Kilimanjaro if they haven't already done so.
Exactly. It's short days, but also very affordable. You don't need to wait for months to climb that mountain. Just 6 days is enough. 7 days is enough for other route. 8 days, so that much.
And just add a safari onto the end.
Yeah, you can add safari on it. So if you're talking about 17 days, you could do Kilimanjaro, you could do safari, And also you could go to Mkomazi, where you do go to see rhinos very close by, which are very endangered. They are very about to go in the world. So you can see the rhino very close. I was there also recently in Mkomazi. But also the same time you can go to Zanzibar for chillaxing. So in your 15 days, you could do so much down here in Tanzania, not only one mountain.
For a Tanzanian person, Whitey, you've been lucky enough to go to South America. You've been to the UK a few times, which is unusual for a guide from Tanzania, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But what is left on your bucket list? Where would you like to go in the world if you had the opportunity to go and do so?
That is very hard question for me. I know it could be easy for many, but I know there's so many natural areas. But I could say I may not have really specific, but maybe I could say maybe Sahara Desert, something different from the mountain, but it's still a nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also I could say maybe Himalayas or...
Yeah, I think you would really like the Himalayas. I think, you know...
Himalayas. Nothing to do much about height. I can do any height, even the Everest top, but...
just to see the mountains
just to see the mountain. Like, even when I went to UK, we climbed in Scotland few mountains there, like Ben Nevis, but Monrose as well. They are small mountains, like a day trip, but I enjoyed it a lot. As much as it is mountain and nature.
It's just being in nature.
Yeah, that was great. But also, like, you know, Denali in in Alaska? Denali as well. That is kind of mountains that is a little bit different from Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, they're in a mountain range rather than being freestanding like Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, exactly. That's so different.
Well, Whitey, it's been so nice.
Yeah.
I think I've said it more times than you have.
But
it's been lovely to have you on the podcast today. And as I said, we are setting off to trek Kilimanjaro tomorrow.
Which is nice.
And we've got 15 lovely guests who are going to hopefully get to the summit in 4.5 days' time.
Amazing. And they're nice as well.
They're very nice clients. They are very nice clients.
So nice.
So if you are interested in Kilimanjaro, then I will put a link into the podcast notes so you can see our trips to Kilimanjaro. I've also written the Ultimate Guide to Kilimanjaro, which is an 88-page free guide that you can download from our website that gives you all of the information you need, from the kit to the different routes to basically everything you need to know for Kilimanjaro. So I'll put a link to that in the show notes as well. And if you've liked this episode and you'd like the podcast, then please give it a follow so we can let you know when we will be back in a week's time. So thanks ever so much for listening. Enjoy, and we'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much. Whitey, say goodbye.
We are so nice. You're highly welcome back here. Hakuna Matata.
Thank you very much, everyone. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Bucket Lister podcast. Be sure to click follow to be alerted for next week's episode. For more travel inspiration, check us out at www.thebucketlistcompany.co.uk or follow us on socials. See you next time.